Alright, so let's continue on to part B now. And in part B it says use the data in the table to evaluate the integral from 0 to 20 of w prime of t dt. Using correct units, interpret the meaning of this in the context of the problems. Alright, so first thing when we look at this, alright, it is asking us for the integral from 0 to 20 of w prime of t dt. Now, a lot of people jump to a conclusion on this one that they're actually asking you for like a left or a right Riemann sum or a trapezoid rule. But if we think about fundamental theorem of calculus would say take the antiderivative of the inside function. So the antiderivative of w prime is just w. And then evaluate it from 0 to 20. So if I do that, that's w of 20 minus w of 0. Alright, from the table, w of 20 is 71.0. W of 0 is 55.0. Alright, so if I subtract those, I end up at 16. Alright, so the first piece of this is finding that value, which is 16, and it's really a fundamental theorem of calculus type question. Now, when I look at the next part of this, it's explain the meaning. Alright, we know that the integral is an accumulator of change. So if we take an integral of the rate, it tells us how much the original function changed by. So this was a rate of change of temperature. So this is going to tell us how much the temperature changed by. Alright, so we're going to put this in context. Alright, so the water has warmed by 16 degrees Fahrenheit. Alright, so that's what we found, the water's warming. By how much? Alright, and then we're going to tell it when. So over the time interval from t equals 0 to t equals 20 minutes. Alright, so we've established what we're finding, the water warmed. By how much? 16 degrees Fahrenheit. And then when, over the time interval from t equals 0 to 20. Alright, most common mistake is leaving off that interval over which it happened, and that is super important. It'll cost you a point if you leave this off. So again, we're really looking at one point for all of the work at the top, and they'll need to see the basis for where it came from in the answer. So I'd say at least, like those two lines, I'd probably include one of the two in the middle. Alright, and then 1 point for the context. And again, it's going to have to be that complete sentence with all three parts. Alright, so they're really looking for that detail on that. Alright, so that's part B. I hope that helped.